Whether or not you believe in ghosts, it's down to perception and speculation, but I have had quite a few experiences that weren't. YouTube keeps kindly like rewarding me with these like YouTube high five rewards. I think they're trying to like lure me to do more videos. So hello. I ran a couple of polls, so one here on my YouTube, and I also ran a poll on my Twitter, so be sure to follow me on there. I nearly dribbled. I think I did dribble. Twitter, also known as the X. I think it worked out that you guys like my talking head videos. I'm not sure why, but cool. And then I had a great suggestion from John Binney, so shout out to John. I'll drop his channel down below. And John asked me what was my top ghost experience. Yeah, Halloween's coming up. I actually own a store which is kind of tailored all around horror, self-promotion. So yeah, without further much ado, here is my top ghosty experiences. So articulate. Wow. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, it's down to perception and speculation, but I have had quite a few experiences that weren't normal, but I'm not normal anyway, so maybe they are normal. It's like a juxtaposition kind of thing. I've kind of whittled it down to my top 5 ghost experiences. Yeah, cue like creepy music, some pictures to kind of get your mind going, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. So number 5. So when we moved to Ireland, if you don't know, I lived in Ireland for 9 years. I kind of grew up there and did most of my education there. So when we moved over, we moved into a small cottage, literally in the middle of nowhere. No street lamps, no pavements, very much like countrified. And the story behind this cottage, we didn't know until afterwards. It's very much like a villagey community.
What about the greater good?
The greater good.
The more we kind of got to know people, we slowly kind of worked out the story behind the cottage. The cottage we moved into was actually owned by 2 brothers. I think they were stealing and all sorts. And I can't remember if like one went to prison. The other one actually committed suicide in the barn. That was at the bottom of the garden. So we found this out after we moved in, as you do. Yeah, apparently like they stole a load of random things. And there was this mound in the garden where we kind of dug it down to kind of landscape the garden, and inside the mound there was like a tractor seat and like all random stuff. So there was like speculation as to where they hid all of their stolen goods kind of thing. But the weird thing, the incident that happened in that cottage, so how the cottage was laid out, there were 2 bedrooms at the front. So my mom had one, my brother had the other, and I had the room at the back of the cottage, just off the kitchen. So I was very much like separated from the front. And I remember this one random night, and I remember telling my mom, I don't think she believed me, but there you go. I was lying in bed, and like I don't really like the dark. I always have to kind of sleep with some form of light coming through. So I used to sleep with like my bedroom door open. We had tiles in the kitchen, and one night I heard kind of like tiptoeing through the kitchen. I thought, oh, maybe it's my mom. She's got up to make a drink or something like that. But the footsteps kind of went through the kitchen and into my bedroom. And all of a sudden, I felt like something had grabbed my cheeks. I remember my cheeks going warm, and a series of like whispering in my ear. Now I was absolutely terrified, and yeah, my eyes were closed, and it got to a point where I just kind of shot up through the bedroom light on, and nothing was there. So that was creepy. I mean, it could be put down to like a sleep paralysis thing, but yeah, I'd literally just got into bed, so I'm not buying that one. Number 4, again in Ireland. So the village that we lived just outside of was called Bourne-Boy, is called Bourne-Boy. Bourne-Boy has this workhouse. This workhouse dates back to like the 1700s to 1800s, I think. Yeah, it's very much derelict. I can't remember if they've done it up recently to make it more of like a tourist kind of thing. When we were growing up, we always kind of went past it on our way to school, and it was just notorious in the village for like being the workhouse. You weren't really supposed to go up, but we ended up kind of wandering up, you know, jumped the gate, walked up the path. I mean, I'd been there like a couple of times. I went with like a group of friends from school, like my best friends, and we kind of wandered to the back of the workhouse out in the field, and there was this kind of like bricked building. But yeah, we were just kind of like arsing about as you do. And all of a sudden we heard like children laughing, but like small kids. And like there were no houses at the back of this workhouse. It seemed to be like coming from around the church area. So yeah, I mean, it was broad daylight, but we were still scared, so we kind of legged it. That's number 4. Number 3, when I was living with my ex, yeah, we had like a few things happen in that flat. The one instant which really stands out, really creeped me out. So we were lying in bed one night. My ex was very much into horror. I think she wanted to kind of play a prank. So we were kind of lying in bed and she put the covers up and she was like, I'm going to count to 10 and you scare me. And I was like, right, okay. Oddity. And when I got to 10, there were like 3 knocks, but it sounded like it was on the mirror at the end of the bed. And my ex kind of like drew back the quilt a little bit and was like, was that you? And I was like, what are you talking about? I thought that was you. I thought she was trying to scare me. Like, I mean, I could see her feet. So her feet were still in the bed. So it wasn't her like kicking the mirror. But me being me, I mean, I'm better with it now. But yeah, back then, anything kind of remotely abnormal, supernatural, yeah, I'd freak out. So I literally jumped out of the bed, threw on the bedroom light. I think I got my table salt. That's my my go-to, table salt and like holy water, and I just kind of dashed it around the place. Number 2, again, this was the same flat, like my very first flat that I had. This was after my ex and I had broken up, so I was living by myself. During the time I had like my back injury, and I started writing Nexus Book 1. To me being obsessed with like doing something, because I couldn't work. For 5 months I couldn't work because how bad my back was. I was kind of sat at the kitchen table writing for hours on end. And yeah, I think it was about 2 or 3 in the morning. I was still writing. I heard a whistle. I know. But I heard a whistle right by my ear as I was writing. And I mean, I was wide awake, you know. It wasn't a case that I was kind of like half asleep or anything like that. And I looked around, nothing was there, obviously. So me being me, I opened all the windows, I threw salt everywhere. And I think I put Pocahontas on like repeat on my telly until like morning came. Number 1, so again, back in Ireland, me and my friend, we used to kind of spend all of our summer like outdoors and hanging out. Yeah, we spent the whole day together. So she was like, oh, do you know what, go grab your clothes and like we can have like sleepover kind of thing. So I got on my bike, I cycled all the way home, which was like a couple of miles to ask my mum if I could stay over at Julie's. I got my bag together, got back on my bike, and I mean, it was kind of getting to evening time, so like the sun was kind of going down and things. There is this creepy part of like the back lanes. Like we used to use the back lanes to go over to each other's houses. So these back lanes would go on for miles, like the fields and like no houses, no people. So yeah, I was cycling back and there's a part of the back lanes which we nicknamed, I think, the Cutaway, or it could be known as the Cutaway. It's like a bunch of trees that have grown over to form like a tunnel almost. And inside it is very dark, especially in summer when all of the leaves kind of create this like tight-knit canopy kind of thing. So there was me. I was probably about 11, 12 or something like that. And I was cycling, and I mean, I used to cycle with my headphones in, my MP3, which was not great. I didn't have a helmet, but you know, you live on the edge and all that thing. Cycling along, and I kind of looked at my handlebars, and I'm not sure why, but I looked up and like I saw this kind of mist. That's kind of like the best way I can describe it, but it was kind of like a pillar of mist in the middle of the road. And yeah, I was just completely like fixated on it. I remember my legs were just kind of going of their own accord, and then I'm not sure what happened, but I kind of looked away and looked back, and it had gone. This bizarre pillar of mist. There was nothing around that could have like caused this mist. Not necessarily a ghost, but it was definitely mist. And And yeah, I just remember being totally freaked out, cycled as quickly as I could, and Julie met me on one of the bridges. She kind of burst into this smile, like seeing me, and I was like, Julie, I've seen a ghost. And she was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, I think I've just seen a ghost in the Cutaway. So I explained it, and yeah. I mean, I've had like random things over the years as well, like tapping and all that thing. I don't know, I'm kind of at the point now, I do believe there are certain things that we should kind of give more credit to, but I'm very much a believer in the power of intent. So the more you give your attention or like intent to something, the more real it becomes. I can't touch wood. I can't say I've seen anything since, but yeah. There you go, that's my top 5 experiences with ghosts. A few updates, because I don't know when I'll get around to doing these videos. So I actually got around to publishing my poetry book. Yeah, it's that thin. I'm great at selling. But it's a collection of poetry that I've kind of written over a span of like 13 something years. Yeah, buy it along with that. That's my debut novel, Nexus Book 1. I'm hoping to get back to doing some reviews. So there is actually a protein shake that I want to try, as I've signed up for a half marathon for charity. As of next month, I really have to kind of start training and cut out all of the junk food. Interesting. But yeah, there's a protein shake that I want to kind of try, and I'll review it, because my review videos seem to do a lot better than my other videos. There you go. How's that for like a random one? If you enjoyed that, do subscribe, guys, girls, non-binds. I can't guarantee like it'll be weekly videos, but you know, they're always worth a wait. That's it. Oh yeah, and be sure to check out my website. I do have a blog that you can subscribe to, and there is also a blog on the RIP section of my Horrified Store website. So all links will be down below. Stay awesome, stay classy, be kind, and bye. I don't know what else. Like, oh Jesus wept. And all that good thing. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I'll count them down. Updates or mists. What else? I don't know. I can't do these videos anymore.